What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So in this audio/video, I wanted to tell you guys about when you're dealing with women, right? You can't take what women say at face value. You understand? You just can't do it. So what do I mean by that? Basically, what I mean is when a woman tells you something, you can't just take it as true. You can't take it as truth. You can't say, okay, well, she told me this and then this is it. Because the thing is, a lot of times women will lie. Women will sort of twist the truth around. They'll sort of say things because they want to, appear a certain way in front of you. So they're not really giving you the truth. You understand? And the thing is that if you take what women say at face value, what's going to happen is that that's going to sort of distort your basically your perception, or it's going to distort how you really should understand women. Do you understand? Because the thing is that if you are sitting there just taking everything she's saying to heart, then what's going to happen is that your actions might go along with what she's saying. So for example, you always hear women who say, and I got caught up with this, back in the day where I would talk to women and I asked them so what type of guys you like, or, what makes you want to get with a guy? And you always hear this shit where women will say, oh, I just really want a nice guy. I want a guy that's going to treat me right. I want a guy that's going to, respect me and be there for me and blah, 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 blah. Right. So you hear all this. So then you take it for face value. So you say to yourself, well, you know what? I'm a cool guy. I'm a nice guy. I treat women with respect and blah, blah, blah. And then you end up seeing these chicks with the bad boys. You see these chicks with the assholes and the jerks, right? So this is what I mean by you can't take what they say at face value, because the thing is that if you do that, you're not going to really understand how women operate, right? So what you have to do is you have to see if what they're saying matches up with how they're, acting. You understand? And the thing is, a lot of times it doesn't. And a lot of times women, they will lie. They will, do certain little slick things for, a number of different reasons, right? Now, a lot of guys have heard women say, if you're getting to a sexual situation with a woman, let's say really quickly, let's say you meet a chick and you you're at the bar or something, and then you take her home that night, right? And in certain cases, women will say shit like, oh, I usually don't do this. This is my first time ever doing this, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like a dude who's taken that for face value is going to believe that this is actually her first time doing this, right? But the thing is, she most likely might be just saying that because she doesn't want you to look at her as a slut or a whore or whatever it is, because maybe she likes you a lot. She doesn't want you to think, of her in that light, because she thinks if you think of her that way, then, you're not going to want to keep seeing her, whatever it is. So, but the thing is, when you take it at face value, you start to look at her in a certain way. You start to see her for not what she really is about, but for what she's, putting out there for you to see. You understand? So then you have a different take on who this girl is. And you also have a different take on, just women in general, because you're being conditioned to see women a certain way. You're being conditioned to see women, how they present themselves, but not how they really are. And see, the thing is, guys who are really good with women are the type of guys who understand how women really are. They understand how women really operate. They don't really go off of just what women are saying. They don't take what women say for face value. They just, they don't just say, okay, well, she said this and she said that, then, it is what it is, right? This is why you have a lot of dudes who are simps and manginas and Captain Save-A-Hoes and White Knights and all this other stuff, because a lot of these guys, they take what women say for face value. So, when they're talking to their friend who is a girl, because, most of these guys end up being in the friend zone, or they're just friendly with women and all this other stuff. They listen to all the stuff women say, oh, this guy, I was with, he was being such an asshole, or this guy I was with, he cheated on me this many times, and but she's leaving out the fact that she may also have cheated on him. She's leaving out the fact that she may have also been an asshole to him. Do you understand what I'm saying? So these guys are hearing women say these things and complain. So what happens is that it looks like the big bad man is taking advantage of the innocent sweet girl. And this is sort of like the what most guys sort of will see women as. They see women as these innocent snowflakes who would never cheat on their man, who would never do anything terrible like that, because women just don't do that. Why? And the reason why you think that is because you're taking what women say for face value. You understand? I've heard plenty of women say, "Oh, I would never cheat on my man. That's crazy. Like, if I love my man, I would never do this and I would never do that." And a lot of them are bullshitting. A lot of them have cheated. You understand? But they're not going to tell you that because they don't want to look like cheaters. You got to understand something. Women will fight tooth and nail to not look like they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. Or they'll fight to make sure that you don't see them a certain way, right? So a lot of times where let's say if you talk to a girl and you're having a conversation and you get into the conversation of, how many guys have you slept with, right? And now a lot of women don't want to seem like the quote unquote slut. So usually women will, downplay their number. They'll say, "Oh, it's only been, only had sex with maybe like 6 guys," when she knows it's probably 16 or 60. You understand? But she doesn't want to look a certain way in front of you. So she's going to say that, right? But then if you take it at face value, and you keep hearing these girls say these things, right? You go to the next girl. How many guys you slept with? Oh, only like 2. How many guys you slept with? Only 4. How many guys you slept with in your life? Only like 1 or 2. So now your perception is women are super picky, or they take their time to get to know a guy and they don't really have sex like that. And the only women who have a lot of sex are chicks who are whores and promiscuous, and who just like to take a lot of dick, and they just don't care about nothing. They just want mad dicks in their face and all that. So you're thinking that those chicks are rare, the ones who fuck a lot, because when you keep asking women how many guys have you had sex with, 90% of them are lying to you and giving you a low number, and then you're taking that at face value. You understand what I'm saying? So, you got to understand that, women will lie, women will cheat, women will do all these things. You understand? And, the more that you are immersed in the game, you will see this. Like, even to the point sometimes where, I've been out in situations where I'd be, talking to a girl at a bar or at a club or at an event or whatever, and we're flirting, we're doing all of this stuff, and we end up kissing and all of this other shit. So, I'm assuming that this chick is single because she's doing this shit, right? And then, so as I'm talking to her and doing it, and this happened more than once, as I'm talking to her, I'm asking her questions, you understand? Like, I find out that she actually has a boyfriend, because some of them I'll try to take them back home with me and they'd be like fronting like, "Oh no." And I'm like, "Yo, what's good? I'm feeling you, you feeling me, what's good?" And then it comes out that she has a boyfriend, right? So at face value, I'm thinking just off of her actions even, that this chick is really trying to make something happen. Like she's single. She's just, she's feeling me, like we could make something go down. And then later on, I find out that she has a boyfriend. You understand? And this also happens sometimes where, you'll be talking to a girl and she'll have a boyfriend, and then you're flirting with her and she's loving the attention. You exchange numbers with her and then you never hear from her again. And it's because she had a boyfriend. You understand? And she'll even say, you'll be like, "Yeah, let's get together next week." And she'll be like, "Oh yeah, definitely. We'll definitely get together. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you." And yeah, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, it's not going to happen. You understand? And so the thing is, understanding that these things go down, understanding that this is how certain women will be, it'll give you a better understanding of what you need to do when it comes to the game. Because, the other day, I put out a video, I think it was called like, "This video will change how you view women." And in that video, I was talking about how guys basically don't realize that women, are extremely sexual and fuck a whole bunch of dudes and all this other stuff. And there were certain guys in the comments and they were just like, oh, I don't agree with that. And, that's just the girls that you're messing with, Mr. Locario. Other girls aren't like that. And this is what I'm saying. A lot of these dudes, they're taking what women say at face value, and then they are not understanding the reality of the game. You understand? They're not understanding it. This is even why where a lot of women get fucked up in the game, because they take what dudes do at face value. They think that, they get on Tinder and they get all these matches. They think the reason why they're getting all these matches is because these guys who are matching with them really like them. But they don't realize that guys swipe right on everybody. Most guys do that. You understand what I'm saying? They think that this guy that's talking to them and telling them, oh, how awesome they are, and oh, you're so sexy, and they think this guy is really feeling them, and the thing is, he just wants to smash that minute, that night. And then they're like, how come he didn't call me? It's because you thought all that shit he was talking, trying to really, really get with you and trying to see you and trying to really make something happen. You thought it was more than it was when it wasn't. You understand? They taking it for face value. So the thing is that when people say things, when these women say stuff and when these women will do certain things, you have to sort of like ask some questions and do a little bit of investigating in certain cases to get to the real issue, to get to what she's really about, to get to what she's really talking about and, what's really going down with her. You understand? Because a lot of times you'll meet a chick who will come off as really sexual and like she's down for whatever and she's down to make shit pop. And so you're taking that at face value, thinking you're gonna get your dick sucked tonight, and then all of a sudden, as you question her and talk and try to make some moves and make it happen, you start to see that this chick is fronting. You start to see this chick ain't really trying to do shit. You understand? But the thing is that if you take the stuff at face value, what's going to happen is that you're going to be wasting a lot of time. This is why I tell guys, like, when you flirt with a chick, it's best to, or when you're talking with a chick, it's best to flirt with her, as soon as possible to see that if that interest is there. Because the thing is that a chick might be, just getting a little bit flirty because she likes the attention, but she's really not trying to make something go down. So you're taking that attention or you're taking that, the signs that she's, flirting and smiling as her just really being into you at this point. You're taking that at face value. So then you end up chilling, you end up talking more, you end up spending like 3-4 more hours at the bar, thinking that, this is a done deal, like you're going to take her home at that night. And then later on, by the end of the night, you realize shit ain't popping off because you were just taking everything that was going down in that, small situation at face value. You weren't really digging deeper to see where what's going on with her. You didn't really, maneuver to see quickly if this chick is down to make something happen. So instead of at 1 a.m., instead of saying, hey, let's get out of here so we go back to my place, you're still flirting and giggling and doing all this other goofy shit with her. And you're like, okay, I'll wait till another hour. Let me build some rapport and attraction and comfort and all that other nonsense. And then, later on, you end up seeing that she was just fronting the whole time. You feel what I mean? So the thing is, you guys got to stop taking these chicks at face value. You understand? You got to really see what these chicks are about and really, practice talking to girls, going out with chicks, getting immersed in you dealing with women, because then you'll start to see how women really react and respond based off of their actions. You understand? Based off of what they do and what they respond to and what they're actually doing versus what they're just saying. You understand? So that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, make sure you click the link below. Also, make sure you click the link under that to join my Bad Boy membership program, where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video tutorials every month. All right. So I'll talk to you guys later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm gone. All right, now before you click off this video, I need you to do 3 quick things. First, I need you to click the link below to send me your questions, because if you have any questions, I'll answer them in a video. 2, click the link under that to get my free ebook, The Magnificent 10 Crucial Dating Tips for Men. Gives you 10 tips on how to attract beautiful women. And number 3, I want you to click the link under that to go to badboymembership.com, where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video tutorials every month. Hey, what's up? It's dating and life coach Mr. Locario. Go to badboymembership.com and master the dating game by joining my Bad Boy membership program. In this program, you'll receive 45 through 90-minute, easy-to-follow, step-by-step dating advice tutorials that's guaranteed to help you attract, date, and have sex with beautiful women. Join the Bad Boy membership today by going to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com.